Hi, and welcome to the Glam Life podcast. Welcome back to the Glam Life podcast. We've been on hiatus for the summer, and a lot has gone down. I'm your host, Victoria Rocca. You might know me as Victoria Glam if you. Hold on. We had some feedback there. A lot has gone down over the summer. I'm your host, Victoria Rocca. You might know me as Victoria Glam if you follow me over on Instagram. If you don't, totally should, because that's where I'm the most accessible to you. And today I have a very interesting guest for you because her entire life has become the episode that we're going to give you today, at least for the last few weeks. Kally Morehouse, everyone, has become kind of the poster child for being really good at what you do. So good, in fact, that people want to take it from you and claim it as their own, which is incredible to me. Not only that it happens, but also that it happened so boldly. You were in the room when someone said, "This is my work," and you were like, "Actually, that's mine." And just chaos has ensued with reverberations throughout the entire permanent makeup industry.
Yeah.
Kally, how are you dealing with that right now?
It's still like going on now, and it was about, I don't know, what day are we on? 26th of July. So it was like nearly 2 weeks ago now. And it's still going on now, as in people keep sending me messages privately.
Yeah.
The lady herself has actually did a post yesterday, which is on her social media, which I've seen and I've read and watched and everything. So it's just interesting, her take on the side of it, but actually I can cover everything that she's said, because basically there's a right and a wrong, and in this case it is black and white. It's you took
Right.
something that wasn't yours. And yeah, so it's crazy. Actually, I can't believe the from the minute it happened, like within minutes, and I posted it on my story, I can't believe the support and like how many people saw it. It's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy. And the amount of ancillary posts that I'm seeing of people posting in support of you. We Stand with Kally is now a hashtag. Justice for Kally. Was it We Stand with Kally or Justice for Kally? Either way, there was one. And then, of course, Carl posted Withdrawn, and that spurred its own set of posts and everything else. It's just become kind of a nebulous of people saying we're tired of being wronged or lied to in the industry. I had my own run-in with this subject this summer. I was actually served a cease and desist by someone, but here's the difference: I didn't do it. I didn't do the thing that they said. So essentially, it was like, "Hey, you're teaching people about their ideal client. That's my thing." It was very Gretchen Wieners. You can't wear hoops. Hoops are my thing. A big fuck you to that person. I'm going to fucking teach ideal clients harder. I hope you feel it in your bed tonight. I'm going to teach ideal client harder. I couldn't care any less, because you didn't come up with that. It's not your IP. You didn't create that thing. 17 books behind me all use the term ideal client. So I threw that in the trash and, never thought about it again. But when it comes to something this serious, where it's actually your work that you did with your hands and your needle on your client, and we can hear your voice in the background, and someone else is showcasing that on stage, live streaming, that is a whole nother level, a whole different game completely. That's a whole nother level of deception. Now, my question is, why? What's the point? Did she think she was going to sell training based off of that?
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't understand how conferences work. So I think since this has happened, it's actually taught me a lot more about how conferences work and the aspirations of some people and what lengths they'll go to actually be the one on the stage, with like all the social media posts and the award that you get. And I think that actually that person, and everyone knows who it is, that person has got so like disjointed from the real reason why we do our job, which is crazy. They spend their whole life circuiting, going around circuits. So they go and do one conference, they go and do another conference, they go and do another conference. And then what's happened over the time is, what she said was that it was an accident, and my work got caught up in an album that she likes for inspiration. Now, I've searched and I've spoken to other permanent makeup artists, and I've searched for something comparable, like in like for like, because my argument is that if your work is like for like and comparable, I can understand how it could have got accidentally screen recorded, put into a presentation and everything like that. But there is no comparison. There is no comparable work on her Facebook groups. She's got 2 of them, on her Instagrams, on her website. There is nothing. So she solely went there with the goal to stand on a stage, present a presentation, which was not an educational presentation. So we've stood on stage before. We've stood on stage at the same conferences. We go there and we educate. So we go there to educate the room. We want people to learn something, even if they don't do our treatment. We want them to be inspired and want to learn, or if they do it already, then they can pick up some new tips and stuff like that. So we educate. This lady's presentation was full self. It's all like, oh, look at me, I'm amazing. This is me. This is me. The whole half an hour of this video was half an hour worth. It was, and the opening of it, and this is some bitch. The opening was like, I leant over and leant to Carl, and I was like, is this like a tourist board presentation on the country she's from? Because it was literally just like 5 minutes worth of Hungary, and I was like, oh, it's a beautiful place, but we're here to be permanent makeup. So I think that what's happened over the time, that she has forgotten who's in the audience, number one, because the people are there to learn. So people get bored of that stuff. They're not, it's not all self-love. So what she's then done in the back of her brain is thought, oh, I know, let's include some areola work, but not having any. She's obviously scrolled through Instagram and the internet, found some stuff she likes, and then cropped it and put it into the presentation. So the reel and the tattoo. So firstly, the tattoo was done in 2021 by me, and I have got the before and after pictures. I've got the client details, and I even went back and looked at unedited videos that I took of the day, because everyone knows why I do the foam and the cotton bud and everything. And even the unedited versions is the UK heart radio playing in the background. So you can't even claim that it's an Hungarian person, because it's my work. So do you know when there's like no denial? But she never denied it was there. She just said it was an accident that it was in. But this is where me and Carl have talked about this so much. As a beginner, a new entry person into the industry, I believe that there's lots of girls and boys out there that will go on Instagram, take off a picture, put it on because they're new. They haven't done that work yet. They want to aspire to be it, and they'll put it on as like, they might not even say it's not theirs, but do you know what I mean? They take a photo. This is a different level.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah. And this is somebody. This is not one photo either. This is what makes me angry. And I get really like, oh my God, it's not just one photo in a row of loads of areola pictures. This is a whole reel, which is 30 seconds long, with my blue gown. And everyone knows, if you go on my work, you'll see the blue gowns in it, the foam. It's so recognizable. It's like, are you stupid? Like, why would you do that? Why? But then also the argument she had back was, it's an old presentation. So she's been rolling it for ages. So there must be an error. It can't be her work because it's old. And I was like, yeah, because I did it in 2021. Babes, it's not your work, babe. So
wait, Kally, let's stop right there. Walk me through it. So you are at a conference. You're sitting. Are you a presenter, a speaker at this conference?
Demonstrator.
A demonstrator. So you just decided to, on a whim, to sit in on this one presentation?
Yeah. So, okay. We went, me and Carl, my partner, he had been invited to come and do the SMP Connect. So a scalp micropigmentation conference on the following 2 days. So the conference people realized who I was and thought, oh, I know, let's use Kally, because I'm going to be going anyway to Portugal. I will do a demonstration on the Tuesday. He will do the talk on the Wednesday. So it worked quite well. 2 conferences. I'll do something. He does something. So on the morning of the presentation, on the morning at 8:30 in the morning, we had to be there for the opening ceremony, as you do at conferences. And we got dressed up and we went downstairs, and then I was a demonstrator, so I didn't need to be in the room at all. I needed to be back for about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the mad thing is, me and Carl both said, should we just go and enjoy Lisbon and not be here? So we were like, oh, let's not bother. But we actually sat and watched the opening bit because we thought, well, we're in the room now, we might as well sit down. The opening person, the guy, he did a little talk on SMP. And then she came on, and weirdly, I don't know who she is. Carl actually has recognised her. I didn't know who she was. Carl did. And he even said to me before we went to the conference, make sure you introduce yourself to this lady, because she's obviously does a lot of scar work and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll introduce myself. We could have got up and walked out and not known anything, but we didn't. We sat there, and we sat there for this half an hour. And at 25 minutes past, on the screen, she's gone through all of her other bits, and then on the screen, areola work, and then the video starts playing. And there's like, we've been to these conferences, okay? There's one massive screen in the middle with the Portugal name or whatever, and then these two giant screens both sides of the room, and on it is my work. And I'm like,
oh my God.
So heart rate goes up because you don't know what to do. I'm doing it now. Like, you know, when you're living it again, you're like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my
God. And I looked
God.
at Carl, and he doesn't really know what he's looking at. He's like, he's seen loads of stuff, but he wouldn't even clock it. And I looked at him and I was like, Carl, that's my work. Like, really quietly, because I didn't want to make a scene. And then he looked at me and he was like, what? And it kept going. And I was like, Carl, that's my work. That's my work. And I looked at him and I was like, I need to get out of the room, babe. I need to get out of the room. I didn't say babe. I was like, I need to get out. You know, like when you're just like, I need to get out of the room. I don't know what to do. And we were like, you know, when someone crashes into your car and you sit there and you go, I don't actually know what to do.
Yeah.
It's that thing. Because do you know the amount of people that have said to me, oh, I would have got up and I'd have shouted and I would have gone and said something. And I am not, believe it or not, I am not a very outspoken person. I'm confident.
Actually, I know that because I was in the room at the first conference you and I did together, when that lady jumped up out of the crowd and started.
Why does this happen at me? I know. And that happened on the first one. Fucking hell. Honestly.
Oh my God. I got physically uncomfortable, actually. Like, you just stood on the stage, you just stood there, and she just kept saying, like, I'm a doctor, I'm telling you. And like, I don't know. And then she started saying, like, call me, you guys should call me, this is my number, this is like, I was like, this is a lot for a Q&A section. And you just stood there, and I was so uncomfortable. I was sweating, and I just kept inching closer to Jasmine and oh, what's her cute little boyfriend's name? Scott. I just kept inching closer and closer. And of course, Carl was standing there also, and he was getting pissed.
I know. And then another like interaction, and we both don't do anything. So it's a bit like, that's happened once already, but fucking hell. And then this is obviously, that's completely different. That's just someone trying to steal your limelight and shouting and trying to be like, oh, you need to come and see me. Ignore her that she's done an hour's presentation. Come and see me. Whereas this one, like, I was trying to explain it to someone earlier. I was talking to them, and I said, everyone keeps saying I would have stood up and I would have shouted, and you think you're going to do it.
No, you wouldn't.
You just don't. And Carl is not a quiet person. Carl will speak out, and he didn't either. So it just shows that you actually walk away in shock. So it's been, and then as soon as we left, then I walked out the room, walked up the stairs, and then straight away I was on my story, because I was like, I am not letting this one go. So I put it on my story straight away. Then without going into too much detail about the organisers, because they are absolutely shocking, like really shocking. Outside of the room, so this is what you've got to appreciate. The organisers of the event, the conference people, they knew what had happened, because right outside the door, when we walked out the door, we shut the door. You know what it's like. It's a conference. There's always a door outside.
Yeah.
And then he came out and she came out, and it's a husband and wife team. And straight away we told them what happened, and they were like, okay, go and have a glass of water and calm down. And we're like, calm down? Oh my God, that's my work. It's on the bloody screen. That's mine. That's not hers. She can't do that. And then with like different conversations, we're talking about what happened. I even said to them, my roller banner that you made me has got the same picture on it because it's mine. Yes, I know. The roller banner for the
Oh my
event.
God. Caught in
I
4K, honey.
Yeah. And I was like, really? You've printed that? That's mine. You know that's mine because I sent it to you. Anyway, they just was like saying, oh, whatever. And then we went upstairs, and then it's just a bit of like conversation back and forward. And then we were like, it's up to you, need to sort this out. They need to investigate it. They need to pull her up. They were like, oh, we haven't got the recording. I said, it's playing now. It's on the screen. You don't need to own the recording. It's there. And then like, honestly, it just went on. It felt like it did go on for hours, but it didn't. Obviously, the playing and everything happened quite quickly. But then what's happened afterwards, that evening, we didn't go back to the hotel. We checked out of the hotel because I did not want to be there. And Carl was like, are you sure? And I said, Carl, I'm not going down to breakfast with that lot. And I was supposed to do a demonstration at 3:00 in the afternoon. And that was the reason why I was going to be there. And I said to Carl, with my heart rate and my anxiety from what just happened, I can't do it. And he was like, oh no, don't. And then I spoke to Alice, our friend Alice Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Alice, and Alice was like, Kally, think about it, head straight. Don't lose your demonstration slot. You've gone there for a reason. Don't lose it. And I was like, I just don't think I'm in the right headspace to do a treatment. And also, they aren't doing anything. Where is she going to get told off? You can't just do that. You can't, like, she's a massive prime speaker. So I did make the decision, and I said to Carl, I can't do a demonstration. Not only that, I don't want this woman in the room leaning over me, getting my tips and tricks, because she can't do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not doing it. So
that's the thing.
I pulled out of that one, and then we checked out.
I'm a prime speaker. I'm
Yeah.
a prime speaker, and I know how to do the same services you know how to do. I do not know how to do them the way that you do. And so what did I do? You can tell people. What did I do?
Well,
as soon as they said, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you carry on.
So as soon as I was invited to be a prime speaker on a subject that I'm pretty good at, but wanted to be really good at, I called you. I called you and I said, Kally, I need I need your feedback, and I want to purchase a class. I want to brush up on my skill set. I'm good enough that I was already asked to be a prime speaker.
Exactly.
And still I said, I want feedback. I want to work together. If I think that your work is aspirational, why wouldn't I pay for it and ask you?
Yeah, I know. And it's like, but we have got friends in the industry. We have, and it's still a bit like you should be, and I'm quite open, and I would happily help anybody. And we've got other people that we know, and I've helped them out. And I just think that if you are a prime speaker, you've been asked to do something because of your background, because of who you are, and because of what you can do. You should not be at any point in your career feeling that you need to steal someone's work to put it on a screen. So financially wise, I mean, we don't know. Financially wise, someone in that room, and this is the thing, like I mentioned it a little while ago, this is the thing, she's been presenting this potentially for years. So how many people have booked training thinking they're going to get her areola work when that isn't hers? So it puts question, and it puts trust in you. Like, honestly, I just don't like all these, and like you see on social media, all these pictures that are edited and things. You now have to double question everything. And it takes the shine away from what we do, doesn't it? It's really shit when people either steal or over edit. I think that's just as bad, because it's not showing your real work, is it? Bloody nightmare. Yeah.
The beauty industry is just so ugly, because then there are people who, like, I know a girl who this is her entire business model. Actually, she doesn't do permanent makeup. All she does is sue people and try to rally people on her side. If you follow her, you would be confused as to what the business is, because every week it's another enemy and another cease and desist and another lawsuit and another blah, 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 on and on. And it's always somebody stole from me. But that's the boy who cried wolf. Like, no one did anything. So then when something like this happens with you, and it's just so verifiable, I mean, it's on the roller banner outside, and it's on the screen right now. It's crazy to me that the promoters didn't step in and do something, considering how many people rally around fake outrage, for bullshit claims that aren't real. I know. Have you spoken with Carla?
No, but she did comment on the post because Carl, he's been keeping an eye, because there was about 3 posts we did. We did a story, we did a post, we did a reel, and actually between all 3, we were trying to manage the 2, and we got so many messages because a lot of people try to give you legal advice, and a lot of people try to give you advice of what to do, and it's a bit hard in that situation because it's just where do you want to go and how deep do you want to go into this and how obsessed do you want to get obsessed with it. I know from my heart that she knows what she did, because I got a message from her straight away. She knows it was an accident. Well, this is what she said. She knows she's done it. She thinks it's an accident that's been put into there. But the fact that she stood there and let that play, and and I know, when we do presentations, I organise that screen. That's my flipping screen. That's my presentation.
Yeah.
I know what's in there. Now, there's no way on earth that this old presentation had an image in it that she didn't know about, that she just lets go every time. And because I'm in Portugal and I don't live in Portugal, and she's not from Portugal, she's just assumed that I'm never going to be in the room, or whoever's art it is. Because she said she doesn't know who I am. She doesn't. Why would she doesn't know who I am. She hasn't never seen my work. She doesn't know anything. And I was like, I don't really care, because I don't know who you are, either, and I don't really care who you are. But you don't take someone's work, who's worked their ass off for years, non-stop, to try and get to a level that we have, and then you take it and claim it as your own. So to put her into perspective as well, like who she is actually the organizer for the Hungry Woolop. So she's not only a prime speaker, she's an organizer herself. So the Woolop people,
so she knows the game.
Yeah, she knows it. She goes around the world speaking and demonstrating. She knows 100%. She knows what she's doing, and she knows what she's done. There is no right and wrong. There is no, like, she's not going to say sorry publicly. We get that. And I'm not even going to go back even on her recent post. I'm not going to retaliate, because I'm just not that person. I actually want it to go away. But I know full well that now people are going to be watching her even more so, aren't they? Because she's going around other places still on the screen. It just blows my mind how something, because I said this, I tried to make a reel for my stories and stuff, and I record loads and I never post any. I don't know if you do the same. We sit there and record hours worth of stuff, and I don't post it. Yeah, and I'm like, in the world,
most of it never sees the light of day. I don't try to edit everything into small little reels.
Oh, I know, and also I just look at myself and I'm like, I can't post that because I've said something stupid. But I was trying to put it into the world, going, do you know, I've gone through trauma in my life, like my childhood. There's so much stuff, it's ridiculous. Other people go through so much stuff. This is trivial. This is tiny. This is not important,
right?
But it is important, and that's why I was trying to get this balance. I was like, it's really important that you do not claim that was your work on a big scale. You are a prime. Exactly. And it's just not. But it was like, and the lady it was her nipple. She messaged me, and she actually messaged me with the laughing emoji saying, "Has someone stolen my nipple?" I was like, "Yes, they have." I'm really sorry, but even she said I shouldn't laugh.
I was asking if you had spoken with Carla, because that happened to her. Somebody was presenting, and it was also being live streamed. And I don't know if Carla was watching or if someone sent it to Carla, but it was her pigment course, and someone was presenting it as their own. She immediately called up the organizer and was like, I'm going to sue the shit out of you if you don't take that off right now. And you see him on camera walk up and unplug the live stream, and then in the room he shut it down. And people were calling saying, like, why would you do that to a presenter? Why would you do that? And he was like, because she was stealing, and what she was presenting was not hers, and I'm not getting sued because she was too lazy to do her job.
Yes.
And I'm paraphrasing that whole story. Everybody knows I forget lots of details all the time. But essentially, I know for a fact she knew about it. She called, he unplugged the thing, and people said, why would you do that? And he said, because she was wrong. So he stood up for what was right, even though that person paid him for a slap. If y'all don't know this, 99% of speakers at events had to buy their stage time, because it's a platform for them, right? It's being seen in front of lots of people. You still have to qualify, But
Yeah.
when you qualify, you have to pay for your stage time, which is
Someone
how
said,
organizers can throw really big events, because the conference hall or the hotel or whatever charges you something like $200,000, $300,000 just to be there.
yeah,
So a vendor, they pay for their slot. A speaker, they pay for their slot. A
not
demonstrator, they pay
always,
for their slot. So the
not
lady
always,
who lied, huh?
not always. I haven't paid for mine
That's
sometimes.
what I said, like 99% of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And
99.
that's like
Some
with this
people
one.
are just really sought after speakers,
Mm,
and sometimes they're invited on their own merit. But for the majority of speakers, they're there to make their name
yeah. And
in
someone called it pay
2024.
to play. And I thought that was a really good way of saying it. You pay to play.
Yeah.
That's why her post or her half an hour was pure self indulgence and not about education. So
But that's terrible, because that does not hook anyone. I don't
I
care how
know,
great things are for you. You're
boring.
on stage. Things are going great for you. I already know that. That's a
Yeah,
given. You're on stage. But for me in the audience, I need to connect with you. So I saw someone do that. I mean, she waffled on for 40 fucking minutes about how great she is, how amazing she is, and how she built this business. And she's, she comes from nothing, and she built, the Taj Mahal of permanent makeup, whatever. And I was watching the crowd, and the entire crowd was eye rolling, stepping out to get water, making themselves some
so,
coffee, texting, scrolling on their phone.
mm,
It doesn't work. Nobody wants to hear me, 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 me. So that
no,
lady wasted her money, actually, because not
yeah,
only did she self promote, no one cared, but she promoted with somebody else's work, and now her credibility's gone, and she spent money to be
exactly.
there.
But she got an award in the evening because that's where the organisers could have. I know, like the organisers should have said to her on the sly, I don't think it's wise you come back later, or even now. I would actually ask you to leave after investigating it, maybe. Oh no, she goes and gets dressed, and she goes and gets in her ball gown, and she goes and stands on stage and takes an award for it. And I was like, are you actually fucking kidding me? We didn't know
Great.
until the morning after.
Yeah, because
You
you
know,
didn't go, right?
no, because I said to Carl, shall we go? Because we were like, I'm in an iron the whole day. What do we do? No one's got any advice for us. I was like, should we go? Should we go back? And he was like, no, I don't think. Again, because we don't want the confrontation. And also, the event organisers at that time in our mind should be on our side.
Right?
That's what you'd expect. I'd expect
Yeah.
for them to say
For the
politely,
integrity of your event, you
yes,
have to stand up for what is right. You can't ever be seen as encouraging
yeah.
what is wrong or trying to hide something from the delegates. It doesn't work that way.
No, and it's a bit like innocent until proven guilty. Even say that. Just say, look, until we investigate this, we would advise you not to be coming back for an award and standing on stage and getting selfies and everyone. But by the sounds of it, another girl that was from Wales messaged me, and she said, she goes, they were consoling her all night. So she was playing the victim. And it's like, God, seriously? Really? But she had, like you said, she had paid to play. She'd paid to do a slot. She'd paid for that award. Have it.
Yeah.
Have it. Enjoy that. And I hope you've put that up. And every time you look at it, you'll think of my nipple.
Drop.
Yeah. What a
Yeah, well, I
bonker.
mean, and then you think of the absolute opposite end of the scale, where when it happened to Carla, it didn't matter that the woman had paid to be up there. He unplugged her so fast
Good.
and was like, not in my house.
That's what I
That's
would
what you
expect.
should have done, not give
Yeah.
her an award.
Yeah. But usually in America, well, and other conferences, we get a contract and you get a piece of paper. And as a speaker or a demonstrator or a stall holder, you are signing something to say that legitimately that work is mine. These are my products.
Yeah.
These are safe to use. You don't, and there was nothing for these guys. There was no paperwork. So they had nothing to even go on. They didn't even protect themselves. But they could have been organisers, and they could have come out on top of it. So to clear up, because everyone, and this is why I do think it's quite important to mention. So to clear up the WooLop thing, because everyone was tagging WooLop events, WooLop, Portugal, right? WooLop, the guy that runs WooLop was day one, which is like a competition, what the championship they call it, not a competition. Day two, where the demonstrations are and the speakers are, is not WooLop. This is it's called Grand PMU, their one. So WooLop said, it's got nothing to do with us. It's not our problem. And I'm like, yeah, but on the poster, it says Woolop all over it. And on mine, it says Woolop everywhere. And so we were expecting Woolop to be a bit more like supportive. And I messaged and said, would you like to put a statement out to say, we do not accept this. This is not the done thing. We stand by you, but they haven't done anything. So independently, I just want to make it clear to other people when you go around the world, Woolop UK, Woolop Portugal, Woolop, I don't know, America, they're all different organisers.
Yeah, USA.
So I am doing Woolop
they're franchise.
UK. Yes, exactly that. But a lot of people would look at me because I am doing Woolop UK in September, and I've done Woolop Ukraine. They're completely different entities. So it's just a bit like, it's just frustrating that neither organiser, the Woolop ones and those, neither of them stood by me as organisers, even though it's like blatant. But because she is on the circuit and because she pays to go and she does her own one, who's more important to them? That's exactly what I think it's like. It's like she's more important, so they stand by her.
It's amazing to me that you can be unmasked as stealing and as lying, and someone say like, you actually can't do what you're telling people that you can do, and people will still welcome you on their stages with open arms and open wallets. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. It just puts,
I never would have assumed that would.
It's choose your events wisely. Maybe that's the way to say it. Look at because people, newbies to our industry, and there are loads of them, people learning all the time, they don't know how this works. And this is the key thing. People don't know how this works. They watch, they pay their ticket. And that's the thing. People have paid to go and see her. You pay your ticket and you look up to these people. And then obviously people must have looked at this and thought, shit, what is this all about? What a shit show. Like, it is completely, like, what a mess.
It's been 2024 has been a year of bonkers.
It is, isn't it?
Just a bunch of what the fucks, just a whole bunch. I think moving forward, the way that we protect ourselves as artists when we're publishing our work is obviously to watermark the video. And people can still crop that out if they want to, but there's got to be another way that we can watermark to where, besides just the little on the sides TikTok and Instagram things, Jasmine has a really good one where she's got that JD off in the corner and it's translucent, but it goes over at least part of the work.
Yeah, but
I think that we're going to have to do something like that.
We don't all have Scott.
Right.
For us,
right.
To edit for us.
Well, I do it on Canva myself, and you just turn the transparency
down. I'm it's lazy. But then, I think it's a long process. I'm lazy.
As students, though, I think it's really important that when you see great work, you go back and scroll through wherever it is that they host their work and see if it's all congruent. Does it all look the same? Does it all look like, okay, she does this all the time? Or does it look like that's an outlier? Or like it's lots of different styles for one technique? You do areola 4 or 5 different ways and it's never the same. That doesn't, excuse me, that doesn't make sense to me. Thank you. So you would have to, at that point, question whether or not it's really that artist's work. If you've never heard of this artist and you see them doing amazing work, just take a scroll through their feed and decide for yourself whether or not that's really their work. I think that we need to start preaching that a little bit more because, like you said, these newer artists who pop in, they don't know how it works and they can be fooled very easily by beautiful work, assuming everybody else is probably better than them. They kind of take it at face value when they see a post.
Yeah, so I want, on the morning before Carl woke up, on the morning where I saw she went and got her award off the stage, I just quickly went on Instagram and did a hashtag search for areola tattoos. And I found about 3 or 4 of my images from other people around the world, just with that really quick. Yeah, so one thing I would say to people, if you're looking for your images and if it is something like an areola or specialist work, one thing that people tend to do is on the Instagram profile with the carousel, the first page will be them. The second page will be mine. So this is what I noticed. So every time I saw a carousel, I'm like, okay, let's see what's on the carousel. 2 over. Oh, that's mine then. And that I just kept screenshotting it. And then I messaged them all and said, either credit the artist. Again, that's so easily to do. All you've got to do is go, this amazing work, inspiring work by whatever. Credit me. Done. That's all you've got to do. It still goes on your feed. I don't mind that. But it's just when someone really tries to lie, and it's the clients. This is the danger. The clients are not going to get that result when they go to her.
Right.
They're just not going to. So if you want to come to me and train with me.
That's what I was about to say. Obviously, the moral of the story here is that if you want to do really good areola work, apparently there is no one better in the industry than Kally Morehouse. Everybody wants to train with
I love it,
guys. Everybody wants their work to look like this, ladies. So, Kally, if people are looking to up their areola game, where can they find you?
Well, face to face, I'm in the UK, as you can hear from my accent. I'm in the UK, in Hertfordshire, which is only half an hour on the train from all the major international flight, like Heathrow, Gatwick. So really easy to find if you want a trip to London. Half an hour on the train was not bad. And then I do conferences and demos. I do them, and I'm still going to do them. That's not going to stop me. So if you are looking out for conferences and you want to go into it or listen to a talk or watch a demo, it's a really good way of seeing, do you know what, I'm going to see if I like it. And then in the UK, I do little events around. There's like cosmetic supplies, do little events, again, where you can get some guidance before you go and invest. And then I do have online training as well. So I do try to cover every area so that people can try and get a little bit.
What is your Patreon?
My Patreon, I'll be honest with you, I'm slowly stopping Patreon. Only because I'm going to move it over to my Teachable or the platform. So for everyone, whoever listens to this, I don't know. I know you have quite a good amount of followers, but I don't, when you're going into training and then you need to go onto online platforms, because I was like, how do you do your podcast? I'm paying this, and there's so much to do behind the scenes, technical wise.
There is.
So, isn't it? It's like mind blown. No one understands. So I'm going to move away, I think, from Patreon to a different platform. So I will keep it up, but I'm just going to move over. So that's the monthly membership thing. But there's loads of ways. I mean, my Instagram, I have an Instagram for my brows, I have an Instagram for my boobies, and then I have
Kally has about 14 Instagrams actually.
I actually, on my phone is loads, but my training is one, my brows is another, and my boobs are another one. So I am trying to like break it down, only because boobs get you banned. So
they do, really quickly.
So I've learned that. So I always say to everyone who comes training, create a new page, please. Don't put your boobies on your brow page. Or lips or whatever you do. Keep it separate. But
well, you guys, what's your Instagram handle?
Well,
your best one.
My brows is kally.co.uk, which is KALLY.co.uk, and that's actually at. And then my areola one is the Areola Tattooist. So it's the areola . But you have to type in the whole bloody word because I get shadow banned. And if you type that in, it won't come up until you do the last T, ST, at the end.
On Tattooist.
The.areola.tattooist.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, you guys go and check out all of Kally's work. Steal as much as you like. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
go and follow her to see some really beautiful and very aspirational areola work at the.areola.tattooist, and you can connect with her from there. If you want to find her Teachable or find out where she's going next, you can find all of that through her social media.
Yes,
Kally, thank you so much for making time for me this morning to talk about something I know you wish would just die. I appreciate you being honest with everyone and bringing a little bit of awareness to someone who actually was stolen from, because there's been a whole lot of back and forth this year, but this was the clearest case that I've seen of someone just doing somebody else dirty.
And I think the biggest thing is to say, don't roll over and let it happen. You've got to shout about it, because a lot of the feedback was, thank you for shouting and standing up. And so it was a bit like, wow, I can't believe that people just let this happen, and it shouldn't happen. So stand up, be strong, and be kind. I've got my top on that says be kind today. It's back to front.
That's cute.
It is cute. It's
in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Mine says Brow Sister Logistics. This is the shirt my husband wears when he goes to the port to pick up our orders.
Oh, wow.
Very, very different vibes today. I'm kind of dressed like a homeless person.
I am.
Excel shirt. All right, Kally. Well, I will see you. I'm sure that we'll be messaging later. But I will see you. Are you going to PMU World?
No, we've got Carl's dad's 80th birthday. So
Oh, that'll be fun.
yeah,
Little
not as
cake,
fun.
little
Not
cake and
as fun.
relaxation.
No, I'll be
Yeah.
watching. I'm going to be on my
I don't want
phone
to give up.
watching
PMU
the
World's
whole.
going to be amazing. But
That's
I'll
so
see you on the circuit. I'll see you around. I'm going to be in the UK sometime next month anyway with Alice having lunch.
Oh,
So,
I'll come.
okay, I'll chat to you.
Gate crash. Thank you very much.
Bye. I'll talk to you later.
See you later. Bye.